Respectfully, Brittney Griner was in a Russian prison. You would think that somebody who is now free, back in America on home soil, would not have too much to complain about.
He's a man. He will do some things to you. Yeah, before you could think about grabbing him, there's things he could do. So let's be careful about stuff like that. But people laughed about it and they shrugged it off, not recognizing the fact that you had individuals within the transgender community. Brittney Griner made news. And Brittney Griner made news the other day because why? She was simply traveling through an airport for a Phoenix Mercury game. She was traveling through an airport. I believe that was in Dallas, Texas, although I'm not sure. I believe it was. And a person described as a YouTube provocateur named Alex Stein, and it was at the Dallas airport, I was correct, on Saturday, is seen shouting in a video that she hates America.
So Stephen A. Smith just torched the WNBA's so-called woke agenda by dropping some shocking truths about Brittney Griner, and the whole league is scrambling to deal with the fallout. Stephen's not the type to play games or twist facts. When he speaks, he brings receipts, and this latest reveal is shaking the basketball world. The talk, Brittney Griner's DNA results, and the rumors flying around are sending her into a meltdown for everyone to see. Before we even unpack the DNA bombshell, let's rewind to her bizarre behavior that fans couldn't quite explain. Stephen calling her out suddenly made a lot of things click. The cheap shots on the court, the random elbows, the nasty trash talk, the wild rants online. It's like the missing puzzle piece just fell into place.
When it comes to Caitlin Clark, now I've taken hits because I was calling it from day one. You got people that are resentful towards her, but it's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents.
All those little red flags that had folks scratching their heads are now looking real different under this spotlight. And here's where it gets crazy. The one question fans have been whispering for years: is Brittney really who she claims to be? That's what's fueling the fire right now, because people are piecing things together. And trust me, the picture ain't pretty. Before we dive into the documents themselves, don't forget, we put in serious work to bring you these breakdowns the mainstream won't touch. So make sure you hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss what's coming next. All right, let's get into it.
Respectfully, Brittney Griner was in a Russian prison. You would think that somebody who is now free, back in America on home soil, would not have too much to complain about.
For weeks now, Brittney's been blasted by fans for the way she treats other WNBA players. But Stephen A. just turned those whispers into a megaphone. During his sit-down with the Valuetainment podcast, Brittney's bullying of teammates, especially her beef with Caitlin Clark, came front and center. The panel didn't hold back. They called her out as a bully, ungrateful, and flat out unworthy of everything the sport and the country has handed her. But the internet went nuclear when Stephen dropped documents, the so-called DNA results, that allegedly exposed the truth about Griner's identity. People weren't ready for that twist. How did he even get hold of something like this? Well, reports claim that during her Russian prison stay, Brittney had to go through a battery of tests. Hidden in the fine print, a DNA test nobody outside Russia ever saw until now. And according to these claims, those samples showed unexplained traits in her DNA that might explain the sheer raw power and aggression she's displayed on the court for years. Fans have always said her athleticism was freakishly above WNBA standards, but now they're wondering if this test is the missing explanation. And the strangest part, that endless aggression. Teammates saying they get hurt even in practice. Opponents walking off bruised and battered. Just look at the viral clips of her fouling Caitlin Clark. It's no longer just rough play. Some are saying it's proof something deeper is going on. And sure, basketball can get rough. Elbows fly, bodies collide, tempers flare. But that still doesn't explain why so many players walk away banged up while Brittney comes out without a scratch. Unless, of course, she's working with a completely different genetic deck of cards.
An arms dealer that wanted to American citizens, according to the reports. That's who they let out. For her.
Think about it. Men and women's sports have always been separated for a reason. Biology ain't just a talking point, it's science. Weight, stamina, speed, agility, recovery time, they don't match up. So when one player seems built like a whole different species compared to everyone else, people can't help but ask, what's really going on here? It didn't take long for fans to start digging, and suddenly all those random viral moments started looking real suspicious. Like that infamous poolside video. You remember? The one where Brittney was shirtless? Any other woman would have been flagged in seconds, but somehow her post slipped through Instagram's filters like it was nothing. And let's be crystal clear. This ain't about moral policing or anyone's personal choices. Facts are facts. If a random woman had posted the same thing, the platform would have nuked it instantly. But Brittney, untouchable, protected. Why? That's the million-dollar question that has fans putting the pieces together. But here's where it gets even juicier. Stephen A. Smith didn't just hint at this. He flat out dragged it into the spotlight. He got his hands on those records and wasn't shy about dropping heavy clues during his recent interview. Remember that Russian prison stint we talked about earlier? Yeah, well, when Stephen brought it up, you could literally see him biting his tongue, like he knew way more than he was allowed to let slip. That look on his face had fans saying, yo, he's holding back some serious fire. And here's where it goes from scandal to straight up suspicious. Brittney wasn't just released, she was traded for the Merchant of Death, one of the most dangerous arms dealers in the world. A convicted terrorist swapped for a basketball player caught with a little cannabis. Make it make sense. People were already side-eyeing the deal, but Stephen's comments sent the conspiracy mill into overdrive. He kept hammering that Brittney should be grateful, which had fans thinking the WNBA and higher powers pulled strings to protect her from something far bigger than weed charges. Now, the running theory? If Brittney had stayed in that Russian prison any longer, the truth about her real medical records would have leaked to the world. Not the polished versions we've been fed, but the raw documents that could shake the WNBA to its core. And that's why fans believe the league went all in to bring her back fast.
Fans in every sport. She described the fans.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what sport you are. It doesn't matter what sport you pick. That's how fans act in every arena. In every arena. So, and then when you, clearly she's not remembering who they let out.
Because exposure was just one headline away. A lot of people actually sided with Stephen A. Smith this time, which almost never happens. One person wrote, I generally don't like Stephen A., but he nailed it here. Absolutely nailed it. Another comment hit even harder. If Griner is really a female, then why was she kept in a Russian male prison? That one alone set social media on fire. But Steven wasn't done dragging her. He also tore into Brittney over that bizarre rant she made about the WNBA itself. You've probably seen the quote that's been bouncing around online. In it, Brittney complained, WNBA games used to be a chill, quiet place. You could bring your laptop, relax, maybe even get some work done. But now, it's like large gatherings of people are watching us. Some yell crazy stuff, putting unfair pressure on us to score, like we're there for their entertainment. And that's gross. She even added that the whole thing felt toxic. What? And she didn't stop there. Brittney went on to say she saw a father with his young daughter in the stands yelling, and she assumed it was either trash talk about her game or some light racism. The internet couldn't believe it.
Swaggy, Brittney, let me see something real quick. Brick, thank you. Get the out of here, yo.
The whole thing read like a bad comedy skit. And to be fair, it did come from a meme account known for satire. But here's the catch. Satire only works when it reflects reality. And fans said this sounded way too close to how they already view Brittney. So when Stephen A. used it as an example, it hit harder than a dunk in overtime. Stephen's point was simple. If this is how Brittney really feels, she's not just disrespecting the sport. She's spitting on the very fans who pay her bills. And she's insulting the players who grind every game. But then came the part nobody was ready for. Stephen A. hinted that he had documents backing up the wildest rumors. Documents that could prove Brittney might be violating one of the WNBA's most sacred eligibility rules. And that's when the whispers turned into full-blown theories, because her behavior lately has been giving spiraling out of control energy. Remember when she got fouled by Caitlin Clark and completely lost it? People swear they heard her shout, "White effing girl," while Brittney insists she only yelled, "Whack effing call." Either way, she was caught on camera melting down, and the clip spread like wildfire. Whether she meant to or not, the damage was done, and it fueled every single rumor already swirling around her. And now, Brittney's being called out for looking more bitter and petty by the day. And here's the kicker. Multiple reports claim the WNBA itself is protecting her. Think about it. If the Russians supposedly figured out her DNA from just a handful of tests in prison, why hasn't the league ever launched its own investigation? Unless they already knew. Unless the truth about Brittney's records is the very thing they've been covering up to protect their woke image and keep their star player on the court. Protecting her just to dodge the massive backlash, that's the theory fans are running with right now. And let's be real, these claims have never been officially confirmed. But whether the medical documents are legit or just smoke from the internet, people are treating them like gospel. One fan even wrote, "Make her pay back every penny she's earned under false pretense. That's only fair." Another chimed in with, "Wouldn't this be identity theft? Or maybe even falsifying documents, impersonating a female?" The comments are getting more savage by the day. And now, folks are digging through every piece of Brittney's past, connecting dots like detectives in a Netflix docuseries. Someone asked, didn't any of her teammates think it was strange she never dressed down in front of them? I mean, years of practice and not once? That's the kind of observation people brushed off before. But with all these rumors swirling, it suddenly feels a lot more suspicious. Meanwhile, everybody knows Stephen A. Smith isn't about to let this one fade into the background. If anything, he's only getting started. He's not just threatening to expose Brittney. He's hinting at dragging down everyone in the league who's been covering for her. And if these DNA leaks really do check out, the WNBA might be staring at the ugliest scandal it's ever seen. The worst part? It feels like Brittney's being lined up to take the full hit, while the people who allegedly shielded her stay in the shadows. And she knows it. You can see her spiraling, scrambling to keep her image from collapsing in real time. But what do you think? Is this all just wild internet speculation? Or is there really more to Brittney Griner than meets the eye? And what about Stephen A's approach? Bold truth teller or too messy for his own good? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to VerseSpill so you don't miss the next twist in this wild story.